Hey guys, it's Ransom here and welcome to another Runescape video, but today I am going to be updating my, I think it's 3 or 4 years old at this point, my daily run guide. It's a little bit outdated. The information is, like, all the methods are pretty much the same, but the information's a little bit outdated. And I've added a lot of stuff that I do every day to make my money, but we're starting with a 10 mil cash stack, which should be much more. It's exactly 10 mil. It's much more than we should need to buy everything on my daily run and do everything on my daily run list. And I have taken the liberty of moving this into high level or low level to no level requirements, and then medium requirements, and then, you know, high level shit that I do because I have a max cape and all the achievement diaries done. But we're gonna start running through this stuff one little thing at a time, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to buy and everything that you need to do and what the requirements are. So let's go ahead and get started. Our very first thing that we are going to do on the list, my familiar is about to disappear, but whatever, we don't need it yet. The first thing we need to do on the list is head to Draenor Village, and for this particular thing we are going to be buying feathers from all of the shops. And this very first one that I go to every day is located in Draenor Manor, and it requires animal magnetism, which most people will have done for their Abba's equipment. And you just run through from the Draenor lodestone through the doors here, pull the candle sconce, and trade Ava. And the thing that's different since I have updated this video is now the shops have these feather packs here. So you used to only be able to get 11k feathers per day from the shops, but now they have added it's usually only 2. It's because I waited too long to do this, but you usually get 1,000 feathers and 2 feather packs every day from each of these stores, which is about 77,000 or 55,000 or 77,000, something like that. I think it's 77,000 with the 3 feather packs per shop. But animal magnetism required. You just buy the feathers and the feather packs, and then we move on to the next store. The next 3 stores that we are going to visit to buy feathers from are actually fishmongers in the Fremnik areas. Most of these require the Fremnik Trials and Fremnik Isles quests completed, which again most people should have done if they want to access a lot of content in these areas. So this first guy right here is in the Relica Market, and he has 1,000 feathers and some feather packs. And then the next thing, you can either use your ring teleport to go to Miscellanea, or I just usually run over to the sailor here and take the boat. But there is 2 more fishmongers here on Esoteria and Miscellanea, one in each of the little markets in the castles. So you just run over to the market here, and we'll be back here on Miscellanea multiple times today. But this is what you do first. Trade this fishmonger and buy the 1,000 feathers and the feather packs. And you can see down here in my chat bar, it's costing me next to nothing to buy these. They're 6 GP each from the shops, and they sell for 10. So you're making 4 GP each per feather, and you can get 77,000 feathers per day, basically. So that's what, 280, 300k just for buying these feathers, and it doesn't take hardly any time to get to all these shops at all. So it's pretty easy. Buy these feathers here, buy the feather packs, and we are on to our next location. The next location is in Shiloh Village, which obviously requires the Shiloh Village request to be completed. But to get there very, very quickly, just teleport to the Karamja lodestone and run up to the north into Brimhaven here. And Hajjade has his little cart here, and you just pay the fare. It's like 30 coins or something to pay the fare to Shiloh Village. One thing I didn't add to this list that you could do is the vial of water packs, but you can only do them like every couple days, so I don't really think they're worth it. The shop stocks take forever to restock, but here's the next location. Buy the feathers, buy the feather pack, and on to the next one. The next location is the Fishing Guild, which requires 68 fishing to get in, so it's kind of a high requirement, but you can boost for it if you have a potion or whatever to boost for it. So technically you could get in here with 63 fishing if you stewed, and I think it's 66 with a God Banner boost or a potion boost. But Rochi here is our next target, and you just trade him, and of course buy the feathers and buy the feather pack. Next location. The next location we need to buy stuff from is in Uglog here. This is probably the location with the highest requirements, because this quest has a lot of requirements to do, and we'll be back here later as a couple times actually as well. But you want to trade Fraud here, and he has of course feathers and feather packs. And one extra little thing I like to do for money while I'm here in Uglog on any of the trips that I'm coming through here. If you talk to Charger here, I think that's his name. Yeah, Charger. He has 10 raw bird meat and 6 packs of raw bird meat here. And you just buy those and it's a little bit of extra money. So on to the next location. Oh, the quest you need for this location is as a first resort, by the way. I don't know if I said that already. So the next 4 shops in our little run here for feathers actually have 0 requirements, so you could do this at any level on any account just to make some money. The first one here is in Port Sarim. You can buy the feathers and buy the feather packs from Durant here, and then we're on to the next location, which is Lumbridge. Here in Lumbridge, from the lodestone, just run to the north a little bit, and there's the fishing shop right over here by the Combat Academy. And once again, buy 1,000 feathers and whatever feather packs they have in store. Come on, Hank, give me my feathers. And next we go to Alcarid. From the Alcarid lodestone, we are going to go ahead and run to the south to the Shanty Pass. It's really easy to get to. Again, no requirements. You could do this 3 of these 4 stores with a level 3 account. You could just get a fresh account and run to these stores and buy these feathers and feather packs and get some starting cash. But the last one is in Menifos, and I lied when I said it has no requirements. You have to complete the Jack of Blades, I believe. What's it called? Jack of Spades quest, excuse me. You don't even have to finish the quest. You just have to start it to get into the city. And from the lodestone, you just run to the south here to the Ports District. I think that's what it is. And there is, over by these carts over here, another fishing shop, because the fishing area is right down there for Menifos. So I imagine a lot of people will already have this area unlocked, because it's like, you know, the mid-tier city instead of Prif being the high level. So, and that is all of the feathers bought and all of the feather packs. So if I open up all these feather packs, I paid 6 GP each for these feathers, and they're all worth 10. They're usually worth 11 or 12. I don't know why they're down, but I made 770k here just to run around and buy some feathers, plus the bird meat. So pretty easy method. And so let's go ahead and get rid of this off of our list and head on to the next requirements. The next requirement that we are going to do, actually the next 3 money making methods we are going to do, I would recommend bringing a Beast of Burden, because it's going to make it so much quicker to buy all of the items. We have 3 different items we are going to buy that each have 1,000 of each in the store, and they take quite a bit of time to buy, but they are so worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and summon my Yak. You can get away with a War Tortoise or a Terror Bird. It'll just take slightly longer. But for this one, we are going to be buying yak hides from the store here on Natiznot. And you have to have completed the Frimnic Isles to get this done. But, oh, my harpoons from yesterday started selling. We're not there yet, but you just grab 28, hit this button to give your Beast of Burden all the items, and then you buy another 28, and then you run back and forth to the bank. And what I usually do is click on the banker, and then hit 3, then 5 on my keyboard, and it totally empties my inventory, and I can do some more trips. So I'm going to do this as many times as it takes to buy all 1,000 of these yak hides, and we will be right back. And here we are on our last inventory of the yak hides. It literally only took 4 minutes to buy all of these, you guys. And it doesn't cost hardly anything because they're only 50 GP a piece from the shop. But if you look at the examine price on the GE, they are 530 GP each on the Grand Exchange. So I just 10 times the amount of money that I spent on buying those. That's what they sell for in the GE because of summoning. So very, very easy way to make some easy cash. I have 2 other accounts that I can do this on every day, and it's literally like no money at all, but you make 300 or 400k easily every day from doing this. So our next 2 that we are going to do require a lot of run energy. So you can do it with, if you don't have the salt pool like I'm getting ready to go to Uglog and do real quick for both of these, you can do it raw, like just raw with just when you run out of run energy, turn on rest and just regain I can't talk. Just regain your run energy. But what I do, since I have Uglog unlocked, is there's a salt pool over here, and it'll give you up to 23 minutes of unlimited run energy. So I'm gonna hop in here, and then our next money maker is in Port Sarim. So as you can see right here, I have my unlimited run energy buff, and what we're gonna do is trade Durant here in the Port Sarim fishing store, and he has harpoons. He sells 1,000 of them. All of mine hasn't restocked because I did this like way early this morning, but you just do the same thing that we did with the yak hides. You buy 28, give your Beast of Burden as many as you can give them, and then buy your inventory full again. And instead of running to the bank that's a couple feet away, like the yak hides, this one takes a little bit longer because you have to run to this bank deposit box here. But same thing. Open the bank deposit box, hit 3 and 5, and it automatically deposits the harpoons into your bank. And then you just run back and forth between that deposit box by the Entrana monks and the fishing store here, and you buy all 1,000 harpoons. This one's going to take a little bit longer because it's a further to bank, but it's not too bad. Alright, so here we are on the last trip of the harpoons here. They cost 45 GP each from the store here, but as you can see from the examine price, they sell for 406. So again, like 7 or 8 times the amount of money, and it only took me about 8 minutes to buy all the ones that I have in the store. So I would say about 10 minutes for normal people using if you have a yak and without the salt pool. So 10 minutes, and we made 7 to 8 times the amount of money that we spent on all those harpoons. And they take a minute to sell in the GE, but again, they're used for ibis pouches for summoning, so they are actually really good money. And the final thing that has 0 requirements to do every day and potentially makes you 5 to 600k. I usually make about 450 to 500k on this every day. But once again, we're going to be buying 1,000 of an item from a shop here, and it's going to be the bag plants. This one takes significantly longer than the other 2, but it is so worth it because they buy for 1,000 each from this garden supplier here. Make sure you buy the bag plant one, by the way, because if you fuck up and buy that one, say goodbye to your cash stack. But they buy for 1,000 a piece, and they sell for 1.7 in the GE. I usually mark them down to 1.4 or 1.5 a piece, but that's still 400 to 500k every day for just running to this garden supplier, running to the bank. This is one, like, you could do the yak hides and the harpoons without the salt pool from Ooglog, but this is one where I would definitely say you need a beast of burden and a salt pool boost, or some kind of run energy restore like the explorer's ring. But I'm gonna go ahead and buy all of these bag plants from this lady here and bank them all, and then I will see you in the final clip once I have them all bought. Okay, and here we are on the last inventory of bag plants. That took 9 minutes for me to buy like 830 or something, and I still have an unlimited run boost, so I got the harpoons and the bag plants done in one run boost. If I had 1,000 in each store, I literally would have had to go back to Ooglog in between doing the harpoons and doing the bag plants, but again, 735k profit if you're fucking patient enough to let those sell at the mid price. Like I said, I usually drop them in for 14 or 1500, so that's 400 to 500k in 10 minutes. Tell me where any other method where you're going to get 400 to 500k in 10 minutes. You can't do it. It's so easy, and it has no requirements except for a mill to buy all of the shit from, and you don't even have to buy it all at once. Even if you don't have a mill cash stack to buy all 1,000 from this lady, you could buy as many as you can, go sell them to the GE for 14 to 1500 a piece, and then come back here and finish buying the rest, and then go sell the rest once you buy all the stuff. So it's super easy. It's super easy, you guys. So we are going to move on to our next requirement here, and I will see you shortly. Okay, so we are going to move on to our final low-level requirement, money making, and that is Viswax, and it is in the Runecrafting Guild. It requires 50 runecrafting to get in here, and that's a fairly low requirement for as much money as you're going to be making in here. So what you do is go into the Runecrafting Guild, come over here to the Rune Goldberg machine, and I tended to just stick with the low-level runes if I can. I also use body and mind runes. Look, I got 72 already. And you just find out the best combination you can make with the cheap-ass runes. I believe what I'm going to get is the 70-something. 72. 1040 of fire, air, and earth. And it's going to be different for everybody every day, but if you just stick to using these 6 runes, the 4 basic elementals and body and minds, you're going to make so much money. So what I do next is just teleport to the Max Guild, or you could do the Grand Exchange with your ring, and you just go and buy the runes. It literally cost me 120k to buy the runes there. And so we go back into the Runecrafting Guild and run over to, I had to buy a little bit of extra fire runes. You don't have to, but I screwed it up. And then you hit combine, and I got 72 Viswax out of 120k's worth of runes. And so I made 400k just to run to the GE and buy some runes and make Viswax. So that is our last low level requirement for this video. We're going to start getting into the medium and high requirements now, so I will see you in the next clip. So the next thing on our list of requirements here, this is the first mid-level requirement for the moneymakers here. You need to have completed smoking kills in order to buy these, but you don't get Slayer, the full Slayer points for tasks until you do smoking kills. And so I imagine most people have it done. And so you just buy the 3,000 broad arrowheads from Spira and Cavalry, and then any other Slayer master in the game you can buy another 3,000. So I usually use my Slayer Cape and go to Moran, but for those of you that don't have that, you can go to Majcha at the Canifis Lodestone. Sorry, my internet had a hiccup there. But if you don't have a Slayer Cape like me and can teleport wherever you want, so you just come to the Towerly Lodestone and buy the ones from Spira here, and then any other Slayer Master. And if you go to the Canifis Lodestone, Majcha is right here, and you can just buy the other 3,000 from him. And it costs 300k to buy all 6,000 of these broad arrowheads every day, and they sell for 400. So 100k profit for like 2 seconds of work. So that is another medium requirement out of the way. The next thing we are going to talk about is the Wicked Hood. And here you can see I have Essence, Runes, and Teleports. You get 3 daily teleports, 5 rune withdrawals, and 175 Essence if you have the full Wicked Robes bought from the Runespan. So if you are getting 50 rune crafting for the Rune Crafting Guild for Viswax, you can spend your points and get the Wicked Hood pieces, or the Wicked pieces to upgrade your hood. But if you don't have double nature runes unlocked, let me see what the rune crafting level for multiple nature runes is. 91 rune crafting. So if you don't have 91 rune crafting, 59 is your better bet. Double cosmics is better than single natures, but since I have double natures access to me, I just hit teleport to the nature altar on my Wicked Hood here, and I go inside. And now I can withdraw essence from the Wicked Hood and make 364 nature runes from the Wicked Hood here. So super easy money, and it's totally free every day. So I'll price check it when I am finished making these runes. Okay, and I managed to make all of the runes here, but the next thing we're going to do is click runes and do fire runes for your rune withdrawals, which is the most expensive elemental, and you get 100 per withdrawal if you do any of these in the middle here, and I think it's like 5 or 10 for any of the outside ones, so it's not worth it to do those. So just withdraw as many fire runes from your hood as you can, and then we'll do a cheeky price check here. It literally is totally free to do this every day, and it takes no time at all. That's a free 183k right there for doing just that, for doing nothing every day. So that is another 200k in our pocket, and it's totally free. So we're gonna move on to the next thing. So the next thing we need to do is I went ahead and teleported to the Grand Exchange and used this fairy ring right here. You can use any fairy ring that you want, but you want to use the code BIQ. You can also walk from Shanty Pass to get to the Calphite lair. It's not that far away. It's right over here. You just go through the Shanty Pass and go west. But this is how I personally get to it. If you don't have fairy rings, you can just walk. It's really easy. But the requirements for this particular money making right here is the medium, hard, or elite desert tasks. And you hit collect potato cactus from the odd old man here, and he gives you some noted potato cactus. It'll be 20 for medium, 30 for hard, and 40 for elite. But I do this every day, and that's a free 45k every day to just walk over here and collect those, and it takes like 2 seconds. So medium, hard, or elite tasks in the desert, super easy to do, free money. The next thing we are going to do on the medium requirements list is to come over here to Bert in Yanil. You just walk from the lodestone and he's right in his house right here. It's not a lot of money. It's like 10k per day if you have the tasks done, or like 7 or 8 if you don't. But you just right click and get sand from Bert, and he will send his buckets of sand directly to your bank. And it's 120 if you have the elite Arty tasks done, which not a lot of people do, but it's 86 buckets of sand a day for free, which is, like I said, it's 7 to 10k per day, but it still adds up if you do this every single day. You have to complete the hand in the sand quest to even get the sand from him every day, and as I said, if you complete the RD tasks, you get 120 instead of 86, but it's still free money and it takes no time at all. The next thing I'm going to talk about is a little different for me than it is for most people. Generally, when you do this, you want to go to World 2 Birth Rope right at reset to get what you need to get. But since I have 110 dungeoneering, I think it's 110 for this resource dungeon, I can come in here and get a resource card from the Garajo guy. And there's also tons of impling spawns in here, and I usually, while I'm hopping to find the divine location that I want, make some money off of these implings. But again, you'll be on World 2 Birth Rope around reset, or just any time really, for divine locations. And what you can do, whatever one you want, but it's a great way to train your skills quickly, and it's also free money every day. So I go for the Divine Herb Patch 3, and the special thing about these locations is that they last way longer than player placed ones, so you won't have to sit and beg people to put their divine locations down or use your daily one every day to do it. So I'm gonna hop worlds until I find a Divine Herb Patch 3 real quick, and then I will see you guys in just a moment. Okay, so I finished up one inventory of the Herb 3, and we're just going to dump everything in here. 100k, 112k for no work and pretty much free, because you just go to the birth rope and get the divine location that you want, and that's pretty much it. The other divine locations I would suggest doing are the box traps if you have the hunter level for Grenwalls, because Grenwall spikes are used in extreme ranging potions. Rocktail bubbles if you have the fishing level. Shark bubbles are okay if you have the fishing level. But I would recommend just do your divine locations every day, because they are so much money and XP and totally free. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is buy runes. So this is really good money, and I just found out about this. Well, I didn't just find out about this, but I finally tried it for the first time the other day. But you can just go to all these rune shops and buy everything and make so much money. So the Birth Rope store is right east of the Lodestone, and you want to buy everything except for the Chaos and Death runes here. And then we are going to go to Varrock next for the next one. And here we are at the Varrock Lodestone, and we just run a little bit to the east over here to get to Aubrey's rune shop. And same thing again, just come over here, open the door, and buy all the runes from him. Free runes, I will take them. Again, buy all the elemental runes, the body and mind runes, and leave the chaos and death runes, please. So the next one we go to is Alcarid. And then just north of the Alcarid Lonestone, we come here and trade Ali Morrisane. Again, no requirements for any of these stores so far. You want to look at his selection of runes, buy elemental runes, and buy all of these. The next one is in Port Sarim, so we're going to head over there. You could probably speed up a lot of my daily run if you used quick teleports with Viswax, but I can't be bothered to spend the money on Viswax or quick teleports, so it might be worth it since you're going to all these different locations, but I mean, even without it, it still doesn't take that long to do all of this stuff and make so much money every day. Like, so much money. But here in Port Sarim, you just run north and trade Betty. Again, all the elemental runes and the body and mind runes. And we're on to our next store, which is actually still here in Port Sarim, kind of. You run south from the Lodestone and go to the Void Knight encampment, which again has no requirements, so still super easy to get to these shops and still nothing required. You could do this on a level 3 account, like brand new, and make a bunch of money. So much money. But when you get to the Void Knight outpost and you come over here to the little magic shop and you hit trade on the squire in the magic shop and you buy all the elemental runes and the body and mind runes. So all of those previous shops before had no requirements to get to. This is a medium I'm going to consider all these medium requirements. I'm pretty sure most people can get into this little guild here, but it does require 66 magic to get into the Mages Guild here in Youll. You just go to the lodestone, run east, run through the door, and I really wish they would make this guy a different color or something than the other wizards on this floor, but you trade the magic store owner, and you want to buy all the elemental runes, the body and mind runes, the nature runes, the law runes, the bloods, and the souls. So again, leave the chaos and death runes alone. They're not profitable on the GE. Just leave them in the store. The next store requires that you have completed the Lunar Diplomacy quest, and because Baba Yaga inside her chicken house over here owns a rune shop, so we're gonna go inside her house and trade the Baba Yaga. And once again, buy all of the elemental runes, body and mind runes, nature runes, law runes, bloods, soul runes, and astral runes. So the next one is a little bit different. You can either be on the regular spell book and teleport to Apatol with 2 law runes, I think it's 2 fire runes and a banana in your inventory. But since I'm a little sneaky boy, what I do is, you need any type of gree if you do it that way. But what I do, since I have the Ninja Monkey gree for the agility course on Apatol, because you have to have it for Recipe of Disaster, unfortunately, and the agility course, but I can just take a fairy ring there. So if you don't have the fairy ring and the Ninja Monkey gree, you can just teleport there on the regular spellbook to Apatol, but CLR is the code that we're going to use. And then because I have the Ninja Monkey gree, I can slide down this hollow log and finish the agility course real quick. And then once I finish the agility course, the magic shop is right here. If you use the teleport, you come out of this little temple over there and you just run a little bit to the west, and then the shop is right here. But again, buy all the runes here, and we are on to our next location. So at this point, we are going to bank all of our runes and everything that we have equipped, because the final 2 stores are in the wilderness. They do not have any requirements. So once again, the first, I think 4 or 5 shops we went to, and these last 2 have no requirements to get to. Can be done on a level 3. So the first one in the wilderness is the Zamorak Mage right here. And so you buy all of his elemental runes, the mind runes, and the blood runes. He doesn't have any bodies, but little to no risk to get to this one right here, because it's right inside the first couple levels of the wilderness, and you more than likely, even if you do get attacked, you'll be able to get back to the trench there. But to get to the second shop, I'm going to bank these runes just in case. I've never run into a PKer, but just in case. The next one we are going to do is you run over here and pull the wilderness lever. And if you don't have it deactivated like me, you'll get a, oh, it's in the wilderness, are you sure you want to go there? But it'll take you way out here next to the mage arena. So we want to slash this web. And it might take a couple tries. Only took 1 try, thank God. Normally I come out here with the wilderness sword in my inventory and it just slashes the web and I don't have to worry about it. But as long as you have a knife on your tool belt, it will slash the web for you. So you don't even have to have a weapon if you don't want. But you run west from where the lever takes you out and come and slash these two webs. And pull this lever. And now you are safe. You are totally out of the wilderness, but we are at the Mage Bank, which is a great area. And you want to trade this guy right here, and he has the final rune shop that we're about to work on. And so, for little to no requirements, we bought so many runes that are gonna sell for way more money than they're worth, that we bought it for, and we still have only spent like probably 2 mil, 3 mil at the most. I collected some offers from the GE, but so this cash stack isn't correct, but it's pretty easy, you guys. So the only requirements for all of those rune shops are Monkey Madness, Lunar Diplomacy, and 66 Magic, and we just made so much money, you guys. And there's a bank right here, and you can just straight teleport out of here. And the next thing for the medium requirements, and the last thing for the medium requirements, is going to be managing your kingdom. And you need to have completed at least Throne of Miscellanea, but also Royal Trouble. I just collected mine for another video, but it's got enough money in the coffers and I already collected it. But this is so good money for just doing nothing, basically. And right now I'll show you the most profitable combination. I put all of mine on mahogany planks, and then everything left goes to mining. I'm not sure if that is the most profitable now with the rework. I might switch to herbs next time, but there's a calculator on the wiki if you really want to look it up. But this is so easy, and most people have this quest done because it's part of the Fremnik chain, and of course, like I said, this is such good money for just letting this sit here and collect resources from you for the week. So that is everything for the medium requirements. So for the high level requirements, this is where we start getting into some ridiculous stuff, but it makes me money every day, so I thought I would share it to you guys just in case you have the requirements as well. So the next thing I want to talk about, the very first thing on the high level requirements that makes me so much money every week, it's probably close to 8 or 9 mil every week to just do this. This requires 81 mining, 89 crafting as a first resort for the minimum requirements. So 81 mining, 89 crafting. If you have 81 mining and you've done the quest and don't have 89 crafting, you can still get your sandstone every day. And then there are 2 additional deposits where we can make more money. If you can do the, I believe it's the hard or elite desert tasks, but I believe it's the elite desert tasks to get this extra 25 from the Sophonim sandstone mine. I just go to Menifos, cross the bridge, and come out here, and it's right here. The next location is in Uglog, so you have to have as a first resort completed to even do this method. So as a first resort, 81 mining, 89 crafting. I will see you guys in Uglog once I finish mining this. So here we are at the Uglog lodestone, and so what I like to do with the inventory that I got from the Sophonim mine, which again requires the elite desert desks to be completed, so I wouldn't imagine that everybody is getting these every day, but I do. So what you do first is, after you have mined your sandstone, you can come over here to the robust glass machine. And the first time you do it after the quest, you gotta talk to this guy because he gives you permission to use it or whatever. And you make these into robust glass. And then you take your glass boiling pipe and you make potion flasks. And so this is the 25 extra from the Sophonim dungeon, but there is a shortcut right here. I don't know the agility requirement. I would have to look it up. But the other sandstone mine that you get from the quest is right out here, and it has 50 every day. So if you have done the quest and you have the elite desert tasks done, you get 75 versus 50 every day, and it is so much money for potion flasks. You guys, I can't even express how much money I've made off of potion flasks the last few years. But you just glass blow all of these into potion flasks, and the bank is right over here. Oops, I missed one. The bank is right over here, and you just run over here and you bank your flasks, and then you go and mine the rest of them just to the north of the glass maker. If you don't have the agility shortcut, I mean, you have to run all the way around twice. But I don't think it's a very high agility requirement to squeeze through here. And then you just mine the extra 50 from this. So I'm going to mine the 50 from this, turn them all into flasks, and then I will see you for the next part. So for the next flasks part of the video, we are in Prif here, which requires Plague's End, obviously. That's why it's a high requirement, and this specifically, this area, this resource dungeon requires 115 dungeoneering. So not everybody is going to be able to get these extra 25 crystal flasks every day, but you know, grand attack potion. Guess what? Let's disassemble. 115 dungeoneering to get in here to get the 25 extra crystal flasks every day. Same requirements though, 81 mining and 89 crafting to blow crystal flasks. So I'm going to mine these 25, and then I will show you guys where to make the crystal flasks here and mine your regular 50 crystal flecked sandstone here in Prif. So as long as you have Azure First Resort and Plague's End completed, you will get 50 flasks every day. And if you have 115 dungeoneering, you will get 75 crystal flasks every day. So I will see you once I finish mining this, and I will show you how to get to the crystal glass machine. So here we are at the Prifendos lodestone, or however the fuck you say the elven names in this game. It's so annoying to Ilyeta, the other elf city, whatever. But Prifendos, Prif, whatever you want to call it. Here is the 50 crystal flex sandstone for you normal people that don't have 115 DG. But I grounded out during double XP weekend and got 115, almost 120 by the way. But you just do the same thing you did in Uglog. You throw your sandstone into the glass maker and you blow it into crystal flasks. They are not nearly as much money as the regular flask, but they still, like I said, it's like 75 to 100k per day. How much is a crystal flask? Yeah, 1.1k. So you're making 75 to 100k per day just on making these crystal flasks. I didn't price check a regular flask, but I believe they're like 5 or 6k. So that's, you know, 500 to 600 or 250 to 300k per day basically for the regular potion flasks. So I make around 400 to 450k just off potion flasks every day. So I'm gonna finish up blowing these flasks, and I will see you in the next clip. Okay, so the next thing on our to-do list requires the elite Tyrannwin tasks done. So you need the quiver level 4 to do this, but not everybody's going to be able to do this, obviously, because it has some very, 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 very high requirements. But I wanted to put it in here because I added it to my daily run a couple days ago, and it has made me a decent amount of cash. So what you need is an empty inventory, and you come over here to the tree guy, and you hit persuade if you have it, and then say I have earned some logs. And it will give you an inventory, a mixed inventory from you all the way up to Elder. And I got super lucky and got a whole bunch of Elder logs today. 90k to just talk to that guy and grab some logs from him. So that is so easy. The next thing we are going to look at requires 63 construction, excuse me, to build an aquarium in your house. I have 99 construction, so obviously I have all the best stuff, but I believe you need a prawn broker as well to get the prawn balls. But what we do is go ahead and go into our aquarium here, and every week, once a week, this chest right here will give you a free elite crew skull. And these mermaids purses will give you either teak or mahogany planks, which is super easy. And if you need farming XP and a little bit of money, you can also chop down the kelp and seaweed here. So let's see, 16 XP per kelp, not bad. But the most important thing we're here for, you can do the seaweed and the kelp every day, but these three and the chest are only once per week. But the most important thing that we are here for is these oysters here, because they have a gem table that they can give you, all from sapphire all the way up to onyx. I've got several onyxes from just opening these, and I have also completely trained crafting almost on my alt just from collecting these gems every day and making them into jewelry. So it's a great way to get gems. I made what? Let's see. Let's price check what's in our inventory right now real quick. I made 30k off of that, but it takes no time at all to do, and if you do it every day, it can add up to be a lot of money. The second to last thing I want to talk about for high level requirements is doing your Reaper task every day. You just go to the Draenor lodestone, and right north of it is Death's Hourglass, and you come into his office and you get task on him, and he will give you a boss to kill once per day. And there's a setting you can change in here. I believe it's under Slayer. Yeah. If you go to skills and then hit Slayer, and under Reaper assignments, you want to check both of these boxes. Definitely check this box for sure. If you don't feel like skipping tasks or doing necks or things like that, don't check this one, but definitely check enable larger tasks. And so what you do is you do your Reaper task every day. Mine is currently necks, so me and some guys are gonna go do that later. But the reason you do this every day is it's 300 Reaper points to get an incomplete Hydrix here, and that's 22.5 mil right there to get this Hydrix. One thing I would recommend before you buy your first Hydrix is unlock this Reaper's Choice here, because it gives you a chance to just choose your Reaper assignment when you re-roll or when you first get a task from him. So definitely do this every day and get that unlocked, and then start buying your Hydrixes. It takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks to get 300 points to buy this Hydrix, but that's basically 15 mil. It's basically 11 mil a week to just fucking do your Reaper assignment every day and buy this Hydrix. So I'm gonna go do next later, and that's just from the Hydrix itself. That's not counting all the drops that you get from whatever bosses that you're doing for the week. So definitely do your Reaper tasks. The final thing I'm going to talk about is Bakriminel bolts. I think that's how you pronounce it. But 93 fletching requirement to do this. It's a high level requirement. Obviously not everybody has 99 fletching, but a lot of people do because it's a super fast and easy skill. But you need 93 fletching to do this. But what you do is come and talk to Mommy Rimba, whatever her name is. They're 200 a piece to buy these Bakriminel bolt tips, and I usually buy 400 basically to bring with me. You're not going to need that many, but it doesn't cost hardly anything. I paid what, 20k to buy all those. And there's these bloodwood trees in the wilderness, so I have taken all of my gear off, but I'm going to go throw my ghetto wilderness gear on real quick at the bank, and then I will show you guys how to do this. Okay, so I have my ghetto wilderness gear on. The first thing we want to do is the very first tree is near the Chaos Temple. So what we want to do is go ahead and go to the Wilderness Lodestone and run to the east. I haven't seen any PKers ever. So, that's why I have this set up, just in case I do get attacked. You could absolutely just bring nothing but the bolt tips in your inventory and just bring them with you. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. But the first tree we are going to look at here is in the Chaos Temple. And I've seen people running bones here, but it's really not a big deal. What we're going to do is chop down this bloodwood tree. You cannot leave within a certain amount of squares of the bloodwood tree, or the logs or the arrow shafts that you make will turn to dust. So what you have to do is fletch them immediately after you cut down as many logs as you're going to get. So I usually get like 5 or 6 logs per tree in the wilderness, which is a decent amount of money. As you recall, I only paid 200 GP for the bolt tips, and I will show you how much one of these bolts is worth. So I got 50 bolts from that one, which is 10k to buy all of the bolt tips from the store, and this is what the bolts are worth. 101k basically for one tree, and there's 2 more that we're going to go to that are no requirements, and then there's a couple more that we can go to. So I would recommend that you have the elite wilderness task done to do this. Maybe it's the hard tasks, but I don't remember which one lets you choose which destination you go to with the obelisk, but you could do it without the elite tasks as well, but I mean, you'll just have to take your chance being teleported around. So the second one, you go to the level 50 wilderness, and you go through this little gate over here. And you just cut down this next tree. So it's right around the level 50 obelisk. The next one we're going to go to, we don't even have to, like, go anywhere, because we're just going to walk right back over to the obelisk and teleport to the next one. So I'm going to make these bolts, and I will show you where the next tree is. Alright, and here we are back at the obelisk. So what we want to do next is go to the level 44 wilderness spot. I don't know which one this brings us next to, but I believe we run north and go through the little gate right here. If you don't have the obelisk teleport and you don't want to risk it, you can just run directly west from the last tree and go through this gate. It ends up in the same area, but we are right by the agility course, and there is our next tree. So you just go a little bit east of the agility course, and here is our final tree in the wilderness. So I'm going to chop this one. I got 8 logs from the last tree, so I made 80 bolts, which was very nice. Ooh, there's a person over there. Hopefully they're just doing something and they didn't see me coming over here to make these. Not they're particularly worth all that much, but I would rather not get attacked at all if I have a choice. Okay, so that does it for the no requirements 3 dangerous wilderness bloodwood trees. There are actually 4 more trees in the game that have some quest requirements, some actually pretty high quest requirements to get to, and one has a 110 dungeoneering requirement. So those 3 have no requirements to do, and I made quite a bit of money off of those today. But I'm going to show you where the other trees are once I get out of the wilderness. I'm going to buy 50 more bolts, so I've spent a total of like, what, 30k on these bolt tips so far. But the next tree is actually in Edgeville, so it's a good thing we're already here from the wilderness. This one requires Nomad's Requiem to be completed. You go through the Soul Wars portal here, and there is a Bloodwood tree here. These trees do not give as many logs as the ones in the wilderness, so it'll only give you, like, I think 2 is the minimum logs that they can give you, and I think up to 8 is the highest that they can give you. So you definitely will not need as many bolt tips to get to these ones. So definitely bring, I would say 500 on average is how many you're gonna need per day, which is what, 100k on bolt tips. So not terrible to spend. You know, like, I already price checked the first time, and that was enough to pay for what I paid for all of the bolt tips. But to get to the next area here, we are going to take a fairy ring, and it requires Ritual of the Majorat to be completed, because we are going to go to the Glacier Cave to get to the next location. So I'm going to DKQ is the code, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to the Glacier Cave, and then we just run right out of here to the north and exit the cave. And the Bloodwood tree is right over here to the west of the cave exit when we come out. So it's really easy to get to, just like the one in the Soul Wars area. Again, see, look, got one log from that tree. So definitely don't need as many bolt tips to do these four. The next one is in Darkmire. So it requires branches of Darkmire to have been completed. So the next thing we need to do is I need to grab my Dark Hands medallion, wherever that is. Draken's medallion. Draken's medallion. There it is. Draken's medallion. Teleport. Oh, I need to go to Canifis because I don't want to waste a charge on this. So if you have completed Branches of Darkmire, you will already have the Draken's medallion from a previous quest, but you want to go to teleport option 4 and go to Darkmire. And the Bloodwood tree is right outside of the Arboretum, or however you pronounce it, and you don't even have to wear the disguise because all the enemies are over there, and the tree is right here. So you can just go ahead and chop this tree. I got 2 logs. And we're just going to make those into bolts real quick. And now I'm going to use my Dungeoneering cape because the final location requires 110 Dungeoneering to access. So I guess I got to go back in here to get away from the enemies. 0, 0, and 1. So this is a 110 Dungeoneering requirement to get into the Garajo resource dungeon. And there is the final Bloodwood tree right here. I said this is a daily run, but this particular one can be done every 6 hours. So technically you could do this 4 times per day if you were like logged in all the time, or like you set a timer for 6 hours or whatever on your phone. So hopefully I don't get more than 4 logs here, because that's all I have enough for bolt tips. So you guys, out of 100k worth of bolt tips and those 7 trees, I managed to make 470 Bakriminel bolts, or Bakriminel, however you pronounce it. Almost a mil. Almost a mil, you guys. They don't actually sell for that. If you look at the examine price on one of these, it says they're almost 2k. The last time I sold them, they were only worth 600. But still, for only 100k investment, I still got, what, if I sell those for a quarter of that, and it was almost a mil, so I made 200k, basically 300k if I sold them. So that is the last thing on our little daily run list here. So I'm going to go and grab all the stuff out of the bank and give you guys a price check on all of this and see how much we actually made. I'm at like a little over an hour and a half recording this. Because my internet went down for like 15 minutes, and in between buying all the stuff I was like texting on my phone and stupid stuff like that. So an hour and a half is how much it took to get all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and do a price check. So I can't actually ever get everything in one inventory, but we got about 100k in herbs in the bank, 80 to 100k. So let's add it to this is how much I made today, you guys, from buying all of this stuff. 8.7 mil plus the extra 100k for the herbs, so almost 9 mil basically today. And we started with a 10 mil cash stack, but I collected some stuff from the Grand Exchange as they were selling. So even if I throw all of this in for minus 5% because I'm an impatient bastard, I'm still gonna be making like 7.5 to 8 mil per day, and it only costs me like, we'll say 3 mil to buy all of this stuff. So I've made 6 mil, 5.5 to 6 mil on this daily run in like an hour and a half. to just run around and buy all this stuff and make a couple things. So that is the profit that you can expect from 1 day of doing this, you guys. So that is my official, like, everything I can possibly do to add to my daily run. So thank you guys for watching this here. So we made 6 mil basically in an hour and a half. Tell me anywhere. Like, most of this stuff has no requirements. A little bit of it has some high requirements, and like, so a mid-level player can expect, you know, 4 to 5 mil from doing this every day. And if you're a high-level max player like me and you have all these extra things that you can do, you can make almost 7 mil per day. So that is insane, you guys. But I will put this video up as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Hey everybody, Ransom here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss on what I come up with next. Also, give this video a share, as I'm trying to grow the channel and every little bit helps. And I will see you in the next video.